to one and all present here. This is Saranya Rajkumar from Chennai. First of all, I would like to thank all the members who have joined today, because in this health awareness talk, we are learning many new things. We are learning about our products. So before we had many sessions, like we had a talk about Iron Nano, and we had a talk about Iron Nano Premium 5 and 7, and E-Socks, and many more products like this. And last session we had a very good session about the product K-Flex. So in this health awareness talks, so day by day, so we are every month, so we are having one session in the English and one session in the Tamil. So we are learning many things in this health awareness talk. So in the same way, today also in the general health awareness talk, we are going to learn, we are going to know many things about some informations and about our products also. Before going to the sessions, I would like to say to all of us, so please invite. So you can, I'm sending the poster and link to you, so you can invite all your new prospects and your downlines, because this session will be a very informative session for not only for us, for the new prospects and the downlines who are joining. So in the coming days, so please forward these posters and links, and please remind them that there is a session about the health awareness talk session, and please invite them to this session. So before going to the session, let me say a few words about Mr. Sridhar Arumugasamy. Sir, he is born and brought up in Madurai. So he is having 34 years experience in training. So this is the reason I'm saying, because he is having 34 years experience, and he is conducting many more sessions in many places, and he gives more knowledge about the products. And he is an ex-employee also. He is a musician also, and he gives technical training about programming languages and algorithms. And he is having interest in computer network, health, and neuro-linguistic programming. And today he has joined with us to say some informative information to us. So before going to the session, so let's see the introduction video.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
And please welcome Mr. Sridhar Arumugasamy, our trainer.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm sitting mid of heavy rains. So, if there is any noise because of the rain, forgive me. Nature cannot be controlled. Okay, let's begin. So, on behalf of K-Link, let me welcome you for this training session. This, as the name mentions, this is going to talk about general health awareness. Normally, we talk about specific products, but of course, you would find that at the end of the session, we will focus on the most important products that is going to be help us in detoxifying. So if you remember, the moment we launched the meeting, there was a video. The first sentence that was made in the video is about toxins. Okay. Now we at K-Link, we talk about internal toxins, external toxins, and air pollution, food pollution, water pollution. Okay, many pollutions. These are the reasons why we have toxins. But this time I'm going to be little bit more specific. Where exactly are we getting these problematic chemicals into our body? Fundamentally, toxins are problematic chemicals. So that is what we are going to focus. I'm going to have 4 focus area. First focus is going to be very, very common in North India, wheat. In South India, we do have maybe 40% of wheat, and then we have 60% of rice. And this session, I'm going to talk about wheat. Now, when you ground the wheat, when you mill the wheat, or when you put it into powder, this is the color which it has. Now, you would know, yes, the color of the wheat is little brownish. So obvious, when you powder it, it will become little brownish. But when you buy from a packed food, or maybe atta, why is it that white? Okay, the whiteness is because this is a color you would find when you have chlorophyll, it would be green. When you have xanthophyll, it would be having the light tint of the green. Exactly what wheat has. Carotene has that little orange color, and anthracene would have that little reddish orange color. And same you'll find that most of the time you would find that we have it in the tea, that the dark brown colors. That's what you have in the teas, called as tannins. Okay. Now, where is this whiteness coming from? Where is this whiteness coming from? Because not only that, you would find that most of a flour, what we buy, is in the white color. Why is it white? Have they bleached it? And what is the reason behind it? How do they bleach it? And what is the facility? And what is going to be the problems faced by it? So when flour is milled, it is having a tint of yellow because the plant has that. Now, to turn it into white, what should naturally be done? I still can remember, like when I was a young boy, I used to go get it milled, but my mom would keep it in the sun, put on the newspaper, she'll expose it to sun for many days. Every day in the evening, she will collect it and keep it inside. Next day morning, it goes outside, it comes inside, it goes outside, it comes inside. And at one point, she decides, now this is ready for cooking. That is exactly what was happening. So what was happening? There was this removing of xanthophyll done naturally by sunlight. But from you look at from a business point of view, they cannot take such a long time for converting that tinted color flour to a white color flour. So they need to do something so that that xanthophyll color is lost. Point number one. And you will also find it ensures, for example, for cakes, when we need little okay, no, forget about cakes. We're talking about best thing is would be naan. For naan, you would find that that flour, the dough has got to be little elastic. Right? You cannot make, in case if it is not elastic, you just remove it. If it just goes off, you cannot make a naan out of it. So to make a naan, maybe butter naan or what is that? Like that handkerchief kind of thing. They have a name for it. I forgot the name. Okay, it looked like a handkerchief. Very thin roti, very thin. They'll put it on that big one and cook it. That I mean, Hindi. What is the name for handkerchief? I forgot. It would be very thin. So if you want to spread in that way, you would find that that has to be, the xanthophyll has to be removed and the protein has to be broken, which means the protein is disoriented. Only then you can get that particular food. Okay. So what is the chemical that is coming into picture? Alloxan. Now, what is this alloxan and why is this troublesome? Where do people use alloxan? Where does scientists use alloxan? Scientists use alloxan on lab animals to create diabetes. Listen carefully. Alloxan is the chemical used by the scientists on lab animals to create diabetes. Very quickly. In one dose, you can get the cancer or you can get diabetes done. So it is a toxic substance. Now, do they add? No, they don't add alloxan. But what happens is, okay, look at this interesting study. In 1920, the number of diabetes in children, what is called as juvenile diabetes, was only 4 on 1 lakh. Okay, but in 21st century, which means just 100 years later, it is 3 or 4 per 1,000. And you can imagine it has increased multifold times. Now, this is one data. Now let's look at another data, which is not actually coincidence. From till 1912, bleaching was not allowed by Food and Drug Administration. Only in 1912, the bleaching was allowed. Just imagine, it is not strictly not coincidence. When the bleaching was not allowed, kids were not affected by juvenile diabetes. But once the bleaching was allowed, the amount of people who suffer with juvenile diabetes has gone many a fold, which obvious there is a connection. Now that exactly is what we have to be bothered about. So let's understand the process behind it. The process is very simple. The process is the chlorine gas that is used for whitening. Listen carefully. The chlorine gas that is used for whitening, the bleaching, has a reaction with xanthophyll, and it also leaves a little bit of alloxan. Now that is the major problem, which means when we do the milling on our own at home, and when we use that flour, maybe the food might not be very soft, but it is safe. When we buy it from packed manufacturers, what we are buying is that have been chemically treated, and that chemical treatment leaves a trace of alloxan. And reminding once again, alloxan is the chemical that is used to induce diabetes and cancer. So now you would find that you need to take a call. What flour do you use at home? If you are going to buy packed or manufactured flour, then you would find that you are in potential danger, as well as your family, as well as your kids. So the first major problem comes down specifically, you will find that in North India, day in and day out, we consume wheat. So you'd find that now you have to change your choice. Second, for people who consume non-vegetarian, you have two types of chicken, broiler and the free run chicken, called as farm chicken. Now, what is the difference? Once again, when I just go back maybe 40 years down the line back, when I was a young boy, this broiler name was used. We used to have a name called leghorn. This is leghorn. Okay, it's actually stands for leghorn, because the legs of these type of birds will look like a horn. It will be very bulgy, it will be very thick. So from the leghorn variety, they brought in is concept of broiler, where it is a kind of manufacturing. It is not farmed, it is kind of manufactured. I have been to one of my friends' place in Namakkal, and I found that it is very difficult for us to really see. That includes eggs also. Now, this is the free run chicken. The free run chicken, you can just see the way it looks, the way, I'm not talking about the color, I'm just talking about how majestic it looks. And not this is not majestic, because this is food and this is life. That's the difference between food and life. Food looks like food, but hen, which is naturally grown, is majestic. Okay, good. Now, what are the potential problems over here? What are the names given? We say farm chicken or country chicken or free run chicken, and here we call it as broiler. And how is the feeding done? When you grow at home, when you grow hen at home, or probably with farm grown, you would find that there are two possibilities. Either it goes and eats naturally, or of course they also feed food. But when it comes to broiler chicken, it is fed. They are tightly packed and they keep food in front of them. They just keep eating, eating, and eating. How is it possible for a life to continuously eat something? That is where they are given hormone injections. So when you give hormone injection, they induce the hunger, so they continuously eat, and you would find that eat, secrete, eat, excrete, eat, excrete. This is the only process that happens in their life. No physical movement, okay, no flying, nothing. So what happens is, in 1/4 of the time, that is talking about 120 days, where a farm chicken grows from a chicken to a hen, a broiler chicken happens in 30 days. So that is why it is called manufacturing. So what are the potential problems when we take it inside? The growth hormones that has been injected into the body of these birds grows into our body also. Second thing, antibiotic. To safeguard them from diseases, they are given antibiotic, which means every time when we take a broiler chicken, it is as good as we taking antibiotic. Now look at the pros and cons. Looking at the flesh point of view, you find that yes, country chicken's flesh are tougher and the broiler chicken is definitely tender. Point number one. So that is why we prefer to have a tender chicken. So we buy broiler chicken. Second, the taste. When you use a farm chicken, the taste would differ every time when you cook. But when you make a broiler chicken, it would be constant. You can take the same taste again and again. That is why you would find that food industry started preferring broiler chicken and not country chicken. But today you would find that once again that the tables are getting turned. You'd find that country chickens are more expensive than broiler chicken. And the last one, low fat. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, low fat. In fact, you find that when I was going through a recipe, they had said if you are using country chicken, if you want it to be add more tasty, add little fat. Look at it. The recipe clearly says add little fat so that the cooking is much better. But when you talk about broiler chicken, naturally it has got high fat. Okay, this is second issue. The first issue is the alloxan coming down from the wheat, and this is country chicken with the broiler chicken. The side effects, it can cause cancer. There's a study going on specifically for men. Prostate cancer can be of a very high option. Second, bacteria. Because you would find that when we eat broiler chicken, there is 100% possibility you would find that we might consume bacteria, though we cook it. Second, the most important problem, specifically, kids at home, they love broiler chicken, grilled specifically. Now, consuming grilled chicken is potentially dangerous, and that too, when it comes down from the broiler, it becomes more dangerous than cigarettes. I am not talking clear. This information has been taken from a study. It says one roast chicken leg toxicity is equal to 6 pack of cigarettes. Then you can imagine what sort of a toxin what we are feeding into our body as well as our family. Specifically, I'm talking about kids because they are the future generation. Next, unhealthy fats. It's a very, very important. Now, this is where you would find that when you consume unhealthy fat, to nullify it, you have to consume good fats. That is where omega-3 comes into picture. And these unhealthy fats can cause obesity, high blood pressure, heart issues, and so on, and harmful medical content. Because you would find that once again the medical contents, they are given unnatural food, and that unnatural food are man-made in industry. So now they carry a lot of chemicals that also is being consumed by our body. Antibiotics, as I mentioned, this is an alarming thing. Male infertility. Please remember this. You have kids at home, you have to take care of this. It's a very simple formula. I can give an explanation chemically. Okay. When you consume broiler chicken, it kind of mimics estrogen. Estrogen is female hormone, and testosterone is male hormone. So what can be the problem? Women, rather kids, attain puberty much earlier these days. This is a problem for girls. For boys, when estrogen is becoming high, male infertility becomes a serious problem. But you can understand the seriousness behind the broiler chicken. Okay, so two issues we are talking about. Third is going to be how we use this rancid oil at kitchen. We are absolutely unaware of how dangerous it is. Okay, for example, we make puri or we make okay, in Tamil Nadu we make vada. or we do some frying, and you'll find that the oil is kept there safe, or sometimes they even keep it safe in another container. Use that for further purpose. No, a strict no. What are the factors that kills oil? Air, exposure to air, exposure to sunlight, exposure to extreme heat kills oil. So for obvious reason, when we cook, we are exposing that to air and we are exposing that to high temperature. So one cook and you would find that that oil is rancid. Okay. And last time there was one question to me about, like, before I can answer when the session was closed, there was a question. The question was, then how do we consume oil? Okay, specifically, I would like to talk about olive oil. Olive oil is pretty much easy to consume raw, and specifically if it is extra virgin, fine, you can just take a tablespoon of that and you can just maybe add a half squeeze of lemon, and then maybe a bit of ginger and a bit of garlic and a bit of honey. You can mix it and you can have it. It's extremely good for health. It improvises the immune system. It improvises a lot of problems, internal inflammation, lot of facilities it gives. Let me answer. I do not know who asked the question. Can we have oil raw? Yes, we can buy extra virgin olive oil. Maybe you can just take 30 ml of it. You can add a little bit of, I mean, say 1/4 of lemon and maybe 2 teaspoons of honey, and say one okay, maybe, I mean, this size of this size, I'm talking about my little finger, this size of, okay, this size, I'm talking about this size of ginger, and 1 or 2 fine clove. Okay, 1 clove of right? That is sufficient. That is sufficient. One clove of garlic. That is sufficient. One. You can mix it. You can, if you mean, you can just mix it, leave it for a minute, and then you can consume it. So that way you can consume fresh oil also. Now, as I said, this is where the problem comes to. Now, if it's action naturally, I had this picture. It is not absolutely, it is not a coincidence. But the question was, can we consume this? For example, look at Italians. They always add oil at the end. But in India, we add oil first and then we fry. In Italy, you would find that every food, you cook it, and finally they will just add a dash of olive oil. That's the way it is. So what are the problems with the rancid oil? Once again, you would find that cellular damage. Okay, diabetes, Alzheimer's, digestive stress is a very, very major issue. It's a very, very major issue. For example, people like us who travel a lot, who eat outside, we know that is a problem. We have this issue. Okay, when we mean, for example, I haven't had a homemade food for the past 45 days, and I'm not going to eat homemade food for another 45 days. So we definitely, I can understand when I go down to a hotel and eat food, I can really feel the digestive stress and depletion of vitamins B and okay. Fourth point. So 3 points we have covered. One is the alloxan that comes from white flour, and second is the problem that is caused by the broiler chicken. The third is the problem what is caused by rancid oil, GMO. 99.9% of the food what we consume is fundamentally today is genetically modified organisms. I always say thanks to Kaling, because you find that I mean, Kaling gives me a lot of opportunity, lot of exposure for me to learn a lot of things. So when I was learning about this, I found that not only vegetables, fruits, the rice what we use in Tamil Nadu extensively, the rice what we use in North India extensively, basmati, or the wheat what we use in North India, the wheat what we use across India in many countries, 99% of them are genetically modified organisms. Okay. I mentioned this last time. I would like to mention this. When I was reading this, I found that there was one video where that video showed me rice in nature, talking about naturally, talking about in forests where human beings don't have an access. People have gone. Do you know what is the height of a plant which can give you rice? It is 7 feet. it is 7 or 8 feet. You would find that, like if you and me go and stand there, you would find that you'll have 1 or 2 foot of the above our head. Now let's find out what is going to be the important. It is something like apple. If it has got to stand tall, it's not a tree. Mind it, it is not a tree, it's a plant. If that has to stand tall at that particular height, it means you would find that its root system has got to be extremely powerful. So that root system brings the best of the nutrition from the ground to the plant to us. Amazing it was. So that was the one which created. I found that India is rich in such natural food, but unfortunately, we have lost all those things and we are eating only lab-created food. So let's look at what are the problems with the GMOs. Allergic reactions. Okay. When I was talking to my sister, she said, yes, we have been, when she is a dermatologist, she said, yes, allergic reactions. When we did a study right from 1900 onwards, the amount of allergic reactions has become very, very high in the recent days, in the past 100 years. Why? GMO. Production of toxins. Why? Listen carefully. How do they create a GMO? They protect the plant by, I'm slowly going, they protect the plant by making a genetical change so that certain insects will not affect them. Point number one. Second, listen carefully. When you make changes on the genetics, it has its side effects, and that side effects are actually it becomes weak. So we have to support a lot of through pesticides, external support. Otherwise, plants generally have a natural ability to take care of themselves. But the moment you modify the gene, they become weak. So we have to do a lot of support externally as pesticides. Point number one. Point number two, their root systems are not strong to go deep inside the earth to gain the nutrition. Hence, we have to give the nutrition also to the plant from the industry, convert it into rice, convert it into vegetable, convert it into fruit, and we are eating. Look at the science, how they have done. We give phosphorus, we give sulfur, we give potassium, we give iron, we give carbon, we give nitrogen in the form of chemical. And the plant converts that into a natural form and gives it, but it is not natural. It is not from the land. Now you can see where the problem is. That is where the production of toxins comes from. So though we say it is, we are enriching, nonsense. It is only reduced nutritional value. Not only that, it affects the soil also. Finally, disturbs the biodiversity. These are the major problems what we generally face in the today's health environment. Summarization, Alloxan from white flour, repeating, please avoid at whatever cost can be. Second, broiler chicken, avoid specifically grilled, very, very dangerous. And for youngsters, it has serious effects. So please take it very seriously. You have a family, please take care of it. Third, rancid oil. Of course, it is also a potential danger. Okay, highly cancerous. And the last, GMO, very difficult. What is the one alternate? Millets. As of situation, they have not laid their hands on millets because the millet consumption is very less. They find it is not worth it. Rice is worth it because you will find that, for example, 2 days we had a strike in Tamil Nadu, and the amount of rice, the sales which came down was rather the market had a 600 crore fine loss. Because imagine 2 days. Then you can imagine the amount of rice movement that has in India. So they don't work with millets because it's not worthy for them. So best is to move down to millets, specifically talking about middle-aged people and senior citizens. Okay, let's say no to the GMO. And this, I was just showing to my Tamil Nadu people because we eat this rice day in and day out. IR8. It's called miracle rice. Who created it? It was created in laboratories. Yes, they call it as green revolution, lot of money for the farmers, no doubts about it. Absolutely no doubts about it. Of course, it helped in famine time. When India was struck with famine, that was the time where IR8 was introduced. Yes, it did help. But we should have stopped it immediately when the nature became all right. During a famine situation, yes, to take care of your life, to save your life, you did it. No doubts about it. I don't want to go against it. I don't want to say anything wrong about the decision. But now we don't have a famine. Now everything is fine. Why do you still make IR8? Why do you still have IR20? Why can't we switch over to our natural? You have so much amount of granaries here. Pure 100% natural, but you have to wait for them to complete their life cycle, then it is consumable. But IR8 is not that. You can keep making IR8 once in 3 months. As long as you have enough amount of water, you can keep creating. Okay, good. Now, if we keep all this nonsense into the body, who's going to take care of all this nonsense? These are the 5 organs: lungs, skin, digestive system, kidneys, and liver. So we have to support these devices. So first, let us look at how do we support specifically for the digestive system and lungs. We all know, I'm going to welcome you right now, which means this is where we have the platform. Now let us find out how Kaling products is going to be helpful. Very quick recollection on antioxidant and free radical. Free radicals are atoms who have lost an electron and who is hungry for an electron. If you feed him an electron, he is very happy, he is very silent. If you don't feed him an electron, he can take 1 electron from the walls of the cell. Cells get damaged. So we have to have enough amount of antioxidants so that we can save our cell. That's a simple definition of antioxidants. Now, photosynthesis. Let me explain to you very quickly. Photo is sun, the photo is light, synthesis is conversion. So how do we convert? This is exactly our plant works. It takes carbon dioxide, CnO2, from the nature, from the air. Okay, and so it has got carbon dioxide and it takes water, hydrogen. So it takes carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Using these 3, using energy from the sunlight, it creates C6, H12, and O6. So it takes carbon from the air, dioxide or oxygen from the air, and hydrogen from water, and it converts the carbon and the hydrogen and the oxygen into a chain of food which is called the C6H12O6 glucose. So this is the process of this. Okay, good. Why is it green? Because green is a less powerful energy. Blue and red are very high energy. So it uses the blue light and red light for the process of conversion and reflects green. That is the reason why you would find that we have the leaves are green. You have xanthophyll, it would be little brownish. If you have carotene, it would be little reddish. Okay, and tannin would be black and cyanide would be having a darker red. Okay, so chlorophyll, xanthophyll, and carotene mix. Lycopene, you would find that normally you see that in tomatoes, and finally you would find that dead leaf does not have any. So your food has got to be always, you will find that at this dish. Right. Now, what are we talking about? Talking about chlorophyll. How strongly is that related to human blood? You just take a look at it, you will find that, oh my God, it's exactly the same. There are some minor differences. One is you would find that we have iron in the center, we have magnesium in the center. That is one of the reasons you would find that we have the green and the red. The second thing is, there's one long chain which is not shown. You will find that If you just look at the above plant, word plant, you will say C20, which means there is a long chain of carbon. There's a tail of carbon which is available in chlorophyll, which
Sridhar sir,
addition by Velox. Yep.
so your voice is breaking, sir.
My voice is
Yes,
breaking.
now it is okay, sir.
Good. Okay, good. Right. So this is the plant what we have. See, literally, I'm sitting in the rain. You can just see here and there, now and then, flash. It is not that means somebody's not photographed. I mean, nature is doing that. Heavy rains. Okay, past 3-4 days. Okay, good. Alfalfa. So we know about the root system. So the root system fundamentally is one of the strongest that brings all the nutrition above to the ground through the leaves. Okay. Now, for example, we have been repeatedly saying this. Please bring new people inside this meet, because there are certain things which you would find that old timers, even I'm an old timer, right? For me to break this, it took a long time. Okay, what does alfalfa have? Alfalfa is very rich in minerals, very, very rich in minerals. But one of the most beautiful thing is the protein that it has is the best protein. That's called rubisco. But that is the one which is doing all these wonder. Okay. So what is this rubisco doing? Let me just show you some reports straightforward from a book. Okay. This is not from a website, it's from a book. So alfalfa has been there for thousands of years and it is treated as a medicinal herb. What are the nutrients it has? First, it has got rich in vitamins A, D, E, and K. Very important, K. K is very critical in blood clotting. Very, very important. And other than that, it has mineral like calcium, magnesium, and it also has got many trace minerals. It's very, very, it's one of the best protein. It is not from chicken. It is not from eggs. It is from alfalfa. And this you can just see what are the diseases it can handle. It's fundamentally good for kidney. It's good for cholesterol, good for arthritis, diabetes, digestive problems. Exactly, focus digestive problems. Remember, there are 5 organs who is going to help us in the detoxification: lungs, skin, digestive system, kidney, and liver. Now you can see the first product what I am talking about is to clean your body. We need to support our digestive system. Who is the best guy? Alfalfa. Straightforward. You can see at the last point, traditional Chinese healers use alfalfa to cleanse the digestive system and bladder stones, kidney. Okay, so what does it have? It's got everything: vitamin B complex, ACE, and 8 essential enzymes, specifically protein, amino acids. We'll talk about amino acids immediately. Okay, so it's got carbohydrates, it's got proteins, and 8 essential enzymes. Now, this is a very, very important point. This is why I want the newcomers to come up. Because we old timers, what we do is we do a demo that alfalfa is rich, I mean, is high in pH. Listen carefully. Alfalfa is not high in pH. The protein in alfalfa lives longer under a high pH environment. So it has been manufactured in a high pH environment so that the protein can live longer and help the body. Alfalfa plant pH is not about it. Earlier, we used to think that way. Okay, fine. These are some of the, I would say, the changes what we need to incorporate in our knowledge. K, remember, K link stands for knowledge. So, what is the reason why chlorophyll is rich in pH, high in pH? Because the protein there has to be having a longer and safer and better life so that it can be helpful for all of us So the manufacturing have been maintaining the pH at a high level so that the protein is safe. Got the point? Next. And other thing, fine, we don't call it as father of all food, is fundamentally horse food. Yeah, okay, now, so so what are the small summarization? The problems, four problems, what we are facing is because of the white flour and broiler chicken and rancid oil and the GMO. So we have decided to learn how do we support our immune system, how do we ensure that we remove all the toxins. So we are working on how do you find out how do you help the lungs and digestive system and your skin and liver and your kidney. So macronutrients is very big. This fundamentally this is taking us to fats. So macronutrients means big has to be broken. Fine. So this is exactly what we talked about. Fine. During Flax training, monosaccharide means C6H12O6. Okay, glucose. Di means two. Poly means many. Poly means many. So as long as you are taking a lot of monosaccharide, it does not really have a serious amount of effect on our diabetes system. But if you take too much amount of polysaccharides, yes, you would find that we need insulin. Okay, so that's where you would find that single sugar, like for example, like fruits are not as dangerous as people have been thinking. I mean, if you remember, when we talked about diabetes, we had a very long discussion where the biggest problem comes down only in the long chain. Okay, protein. What is the protein chain of amino acids? And here we talk about this is the difference between a carbohydrate and protein. Technically speaking, is you would never find a nitrogen in carbohydrate, and you will find nitrogen in amino acids. There it is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and here it is made up of nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. So you can see there is a serious difference between carbohydrate and proteins. Now here also we have what is called essential. It means important. Not only important, it has got to be given. It should not be, it cannot be created by the body. So chlorophyll has got 8 essential amino acids. Then you can imagine why chlorophyll has been successful, why chlorophyll is loved by people. Chlorophyll has got 8 essential amino acids. Now let's look at the fats. Now we know the fats, what we talked about is going to be a chain of fatty acid, short chain, medium chain, and long chain. And more than that, the what interest is going to be like very quick thing. Why do we use the word omega-3, omega-6? In this chain of carbon hydrogen on the left-hand side, which is called as a methyl group, is referred as omega N, and the other is called as alpha N. Okay, that is one of the reasons we have to use the word omega. Then, what do you mean by triglyceride? 3 fatty acid held together by glycerol, hence it is called as triglyceride. Next, what is the most important thing? Polyunsaturated. What do you mean by unsaturated? It means there is a potential for some sort of a chemical reaction. What do you mean by that? Now, when you look at this picture, you would find the first picture is called omega-3 and omega-6. Naturally, you will find that the bend of omega-3 is more because of the double bonds. There are 3 double bonds. If you count it, there are 3 double bonds. More the double bond, more the bend. If you have only 2 double bonds, for example, omega-6, less bend. Same way, if there are no double bond at all, it will be straight. This is a fundamental chemistry which we need to know. Point number 1. Okay, good. So what do you mean by polyunsaturated? Here, when I say whenever there is a double bond, you would find that that can be broken and it can be converted into something else. That double bond can be broken and it can be converted into something else. Now that is called as polyunsaturated. It means saturated means everything is single bond and there is no changes that can be performed. But when you have more double bonds, depending upon the requirement, changes can happen. That is called as polyunsaturated. And why omega-3? If you count, you would find that the third carbon, after third carbon double bond, omega-3. After 6 carbons, double bond, omega-6. Cool. Okay. The danger here in this science, what's danger? Hydrogenation. Any time if you find any food material which mentions hydrogenated fat, or in India, we casually say edible oil. Listen carefully, parents. Listen carefully. The food industry of India is very cunning and very clever. They do not use the word hydrogenated fat anymore. They clearly say edible oil. What do you mean edible oil? You won't die in 48 hours. Guarantee. Any company. So you have to understand that if there is a hydrogenation, there is a huge amount of potential danger for your kids. Huge amount of potential danger for your kids. Where does it come down from? Biscuits, cakes, any packed snack which can be there in the shelf for 3 months or 6 months. You have it. And kids love it. That's where the problem is. So you have to be very, very careful of this. Okay. Now, okay, I'm not going to go deep into this and fats. Now, let's go on. How much do you need and why do you need? This is very, very important because building blocks. Cholesterol, for example, people say cholesterol is bad. Who said cholesterol is a building block? Excess cholesterol is a problem. Cholesterol is very, very important for your body. For your body repair, you would find that we need cholesterol. But unfortunately, we have started saying cholesterol is bad. Fat is bad. Who said fat is bad? We need fat. Everything is important, but at the right quantity, at the moderate quantity. Anything overdone is a poison. Anything over, whatever it is. So what is the name for omega-3 and omega-6? Omega-3 is called as alpha-linolenic acid and omega-6 is called linoleic acid. Don't bother about that. But this is the most important for parents to remember. Your son and daughter requires EPA and DHA to study properly and think properly. Listen carefully. Your son and daughter requires EPA and DHA to think and read properly. So what is the input for it? Alpha linolenic acid omega-3 and not EPA DHA. You should not give them direct EPA DHA. But there are some products which has got EPA and DHA. Why do we add it? Why have they added? That is specifically for elders. Talking about people who have conversion problem. This is a conversion. Remember double bond. Breaking the double bond and desaturating. Remember unsaturated. So desaturating, you would be able to convert the delta 6 desaturase, which means there is an enzyme and that acts on the fat and converts that into EPA. Formulation, beautiful chemical formula. Same way omega-6. I mean, omega-6 is rich. You have enough amount and more. But you will find that omega-3 is literally not available through fish. You have to get only through flaxseed. And I mean, I'm going to just go through the benefits available for flax that will run on the slide after slide. Okay. What does our K-Flax have? You would find that in K-Flax now has normally, I'll keep it in my desk. Trust me, I keep it in my desk. I have shown that. But do you know where I have now? I have kept it in my laptop bag. Seriously, I've kept it in my laptop bag. I take 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, and 6 in the evening. Seriously. Fine, I can show it right in front of you. Okay, just hold on. Fine. Oh my God, I'm not able to stretch myself. Fine, that is the way it is. I'll try to get it. I think it's somewhere behind. So it's so important. I'm not going to read it. I'm tired of reading. How long can I keep reading this? Good for arteries, good for blood pressure, good for water retention. Is mean I keep saying this. Women, if you are not very heavy, but if you are looking big, it means water retention. You need to have it. Trust me, regularly take for 3 months. You will find that you will lose a lot of weight, a lot of water. Okay, next. Good, very good for energy. Fine for stamina, specifically for kids there. Very good for sprains and bruises. Specifically for people who are fat, it is good. Improves absorption of calcium for women. Nails, finger, eyesight, liver, cancer. Cancer, I'm telling you, people are given at least one, I don't know, I would say 2 or 3 teaspoons of flax oil regularly. Good for asthma, eczema for skin, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes mellitus, allergies, sclerosis. It means becoming hard. Okay, multiple sclerosis. Anywhere things becoming hard, be it cell, be it blood cell, anywhere it can be very helpful. Okay, so this will definitely safeguard your heart. And this is amazing, I'm telling you. Fine. Last time I didn't speak about it, but I have started using it. I'm telling you, fine. I cannot say a lie. You can check up with Sham. Yesterday I bought K-Roll 2 bags, and it is being delivered to me. Fine. In fact, actually, it is sent home, and from home I'm going to get it because I'm traveling. I started with 2. Now I'm getting 2. Fine. I started with 2 for 1 month. Now I'm getting 2 for 2 weeks. Extremely good. And specifically that Terminalia Arjuna. Amazing. I'm telling you, amazing. Okay. Now, this is a Terminalia Arjuna. Okay. I'm repeating once again. Arjuna does not mean about the Panchapandavas. It's the name, it's a chemical name. Now, this is a very, very important thing. Okay. Now, so let's look at it. For digestive system, we have worked with chlorophyll. And for general, you would find that we have worked with, specifically, I'm talking about liver, you would find that a very strong support from K-Flax. Listen carefully, please. Liver is the product, liver is the organ that makes cholesterol. So when you take proper fat, you are supporting your liver to detoxify your body. Now, the third is, how do we keep track of, how do you detoxify? Through skin, K-dermy. And the major thing, you can just straightforward says neem oil. We all know in India, neem is the best product for skin. Not only that, you'd find that, I do not know the names of these in Hindi, but you would find that all of them is visible. You would find that it is commonly available, all these plants. Okay, except for one, which is there down below. You would find that the red fruits fundamentally is not available in India. That is the only thing that is being brought from some other country. Rest of them are Indian. Okay, excellent product for keeping track of here, keeping your skin good. Listen carefully, keeping your skin good. Second, detoxifying using your skin. Third, okay, right. For lungs, we have Osmo. For skin, we have K-dermy. For cleansing through digestive system, we have chlorophyll and cages. And for cleansing through kidneys, we have Kerin. And for cleansing through liver, we have K-light. Whenever you take K-light, please join Kerin. Whenever you take Kerin, please join K-light. It's called as adjuvant. That is, it makes one product work better when you mix it with the second one. Kerin and K-light has, henceforth, please don't look at these things as a product that is going to be helpful for people who have problems in liver, problems in kidney. No, you would find that as good as we talk about chlorophyll, we need to talk about all these products also. Okay. Should I read this? I don't want to. Okay. I have been reading this for years together. Okay, seriously, I created this slide, and this I created, I think, in 2004, I think. And you can imagine for how long have I been reading this. I like this slide. I like this slide. Fine, beautifully done. Healthy way to wealthy living. Fine. Okay, any questions? I don't know the time. Let me have a look at the time.
Exactly 6:55.
Okay, 6:55. Very good. Great.
Any
questions?
Any questions you can put in the chat.
Sorry, I'm sitting in the dark because you would find that actually I had a light. I sat in front of that, but because of the rain, you would find that it is gone. I'm using my car light.
Yes, we can see, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing very important session about health. So it was really very informative. So many new things we came to know about broiler chicken, GMO, and rancid oil. So these are new things for us, sir. So because we know, but in depth today we learned many things about these things, sir. This session we came to know many things about our products. So he had a very short recap, like about the product K-Flax, chlorophyll, and K-roll, and many more products today we have discussed. Is there any questions you can put in the chat? I think no questions, I think, sir. Everything was clear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I mean, any suggestions for next training program, or do you have any specific product in mind where in case if you want to have an elaborate study, I would be really happy to do it. You
Yes,
can
sir.
maybe you can just send it to Saranya. You don't have to do it
Sir.
immediately, but you can just send your request. Definitely, we will give you an ear to that.
Everybody requesting that they want it in Hindi also, like translating somebody in Hindi. So we will work
Okay.
for it, sir, because many people, they are more interested in attending this session, and they want the only thing which they wanted to know is if it has been in Hindi. So I can understand in English, but there are many more people who are sitting who does not know English might understand in Hindi if it is we translate. Definitely we will work for it. We will just say this to our director, and definitely in the coming session we will plan, sir. As you can talk in English and there will be somebody to translate in Hindi, we'll plan for
Yeah,
you.
I'll also try to learn
Yes.
Hindi. I can manage Hindi, but if I speak right now, whatever I know, I can give you a guarantee. Few of you will forget your Hindi. Okay. Say for example, I'll just say, "Bahut bhook lagi hai." Okay. I mean, those are the things like now when I'm feeling hungry, when kya dimag kharab ho gaya kya. This is exactly few things which has been taught by some of my friends. But of course, I have learned Hindi earlier. But let me brush up and maybe I'll start picking up.
Yes,
It'll
sir.
be good
That
to
will,
communicate in the
yes,
language
yes,
which you
sir.
want to.
Yeah, thank you
Okay.
so much, sir.
Yeah.
So it was a
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
yes. Yes, sir. So in spite of heavy rain and then thunder, we could see there. So in spite of this, you have successfully completed today's session, I think, sir. So thank you so
Yes.
much, sir.
Yeah.
It
Thank
was
you,
really
everybody.
a very informative session for all of us. So those who are all who didn't attend today's session, definitely I'll be forwarding the link to you, so you can forward to other members, and you can just whatever Sridhar sir said today, you can forward the link to other person. You can also make them to know more about our products. So once again, I would like to thank all the members who have joined today, and again I would like to thank our trainer, Mr. Sridhar Arumugasamy, and thanks for the Kaling, because sir has given me a great opportunity to join in this session. And I would like to thank our Kaling India director, Mr. Jagadisan Subramaniam sir also. So many more session is going to come in the month of August also, and you all know that for 100 BV and 200 BV and 400 BV, you have many more products, FOC products. So make use of the promo also. And once again, thank you all, and thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.